Oh my god, I actually did it. I actually went live a second time in the same day after saying I was going to do that. Wowie zowie, and I'm in a whole new location because, frankly, the forest I usually walk around, I don't know if I want to go there at night, considering how many homeless encampments I have found there, and broken glass bottles, and generally the area I live in isn't a place I would really want to wander around after sundown. So I spent some time driving around Norfolk looking for a safe place to park. And I found what seems like the safest place to park, because it's around these really nice condos and some really frou-frou restaurants over here. And it's directly on the beach, and there's free parking, and it's not even a parking lot. So it's not a place that people are, I mean, there is like a lot over there, but it's not like it's not a place people are necessarily attracted to as like a hangout spot. It's just kind of beach parking that most people don't know about. But I'm blowing up the spot right here, live. So yeah, that's the safest place I have found to park, probably in all of Norfolk, but especially that you can access the beach from. So, yeah, score, as you said. Cooking chicken tendies. Ooh, nice. That sounds yummy. I had some chicken nuggets for lunch, along with some egg salad sandwiches that I made. I boiled some eggs. So here's how I make an egg salad, all right? I take 3 eggs, boil them, then, deshell, put the eggs in a bowl, put in a bunch of mayonnaise, mustard of various kinds if you have them, a ton of sriracha, salt, pepper, garlic, onion powder, and lemon juice, a little bit of lemon juice. That's just with the ingredients I had on hand to do it today. But I put that on, any kind of bread or bun, any kind of sandwich. I'm a fan of a chicken salad, or not a chicken salad, I meant a egg salad sandwich. Did I say chicken salad? Was I implying I was making egg salad with chicken at some point? Ah. Or chicken salad with eggs? Whatever. I'm headed towards the beach. You can tell I'm kind of in a sandy, duney area, but I keep walking back and forth because I'm trying to let the other family that showed up around the same time, get some headway. Because I have a tendency to just continually power walk very quickly wherever I am while I'm streaming. Whether there's people around, I end up catching up to them. I don't want anybody on the stream. I doesn't want to be on the stream. Anyway. This is strictly a rant for super chats stream. Otherwise, I'm probably gonna do like lyrics analysis or something. Talk about songs and shit. Actually, what would be great is if somebody super chatted me a request for a lyrical analysis. That would be fun. Although at the moment I'm not even thinking of a song I want to break down. I'm kind of just vibing out here. Look at the moon up here. Hold on, let me see if I can... Yeah, oh, it's very visible actually. Look at how fucking visible the moon is. I love that. Good moon, very, very good moon. Good sunset going on behind me. The heavenly bodies are feeling it. Oh, look at this area actually. This is I'm glad I didn't walk that other way to the beach, because this is a nicer way to walk over there. Public beach access through private property. Please stay on path. So I guess I'm not allowed to use the benches that are in the grass unless I live here. Like if I trespass the grass, does an alarm go off and a squad shows up? And they're like, you can't be on that grass. You're supposed to stay on those bricks. Like, will everybody come running out of their doors, throwing all the doors open and blasting, you can't be here. You trespassed beyond the path. Here they go, one of the little mermaids here. Those mermaids are all over this area. Gary Always with $2. Should I draw Tsukasa or Kagami? Tsukasa from Dot Hack Sign? Or, oh no, Tsukasa and Kagami, the sisters, the Hiragi sisters. I feel like Tsukasa doesn't get enough love, you know? I feel like she's underrepresented. I am a big Kagami fan, but I feel like I've seen more than enough, and I haven't seen more than enough Tsukasa. Look at this fucking path I'm walking through. This is so fucking rustic and cool. I feel like a TikToker, like a fucking exploration TikToker looking at this. Yeah, check all that out. I'm sure that the stream bit quality doesn't do justice to this, but this is real photography stream right here. A lot of photography, right place, right time, you know. Should be an album cover, maybe it could be. I don't know, I have to see what it looks like later. There's people hanging out in the tall grass, having a chill sesh. I don't want to interrupt your chill sesh. Gotta get out of the way, let's head down to the water. Into that mighty Atlantic Ocean, or Chesapeake Bay, whichever. Kind of the same thing. I like that rock plateau out there. No gulls. Yeah, I think it's too late in the day for the gulls. I think they've already taken off. Gulls are more of a morning thing. Look at all these people. All these big old poles. I don't know what the big poles are about, actually. Gorgeous. The way the sun is reflecting off of that cloud, making it look like there's a double sun, is fucking trippy. It's on some Star Wars shit over there. Alright, what do you want me to rant about on the beach? What do I gotta rant over this sunset about out here on the beach? That's the theme of this stream. Ranting over sunset on the beach. Somebody said in the comments of the last video earlier today, they said you should really get a lav mic because the sound quality is chaos. I said, I'm broke. And they said $38 would really help a lot with the audio. I opened up my bank account. I have $39 in the bank. I can't be left with $1. Now I should receive $200 tomorrow from last month's YouTube ad revenue / super chats, but that's gonna get eaten through by my phone bill, which is obviously necessary to make money right now, since I do everything on the phone, and the rest of it will go to food and weed, so I'll have no money left. So that's why I need all the super chat rant requests you possibly can give me. I'm desperately broke. Feed me. Feed the beast. Or else I'm gonna make you stare into the sun all day. That's my threat. If you can't super chat me, find someone who can. Find a motherfucker. Tell everybody you know that I will read literally anything and respond to it for a small amount of money. Surely you know somebody who is aching for this service at this moment. Somebody who you don't want them to have the money they have. Like, don't think about yourself and your precious money that you love. Think about somebody else whose money you would love to waste and figure out how to get their money into my hands. That's the righteous way to live. I don't know if anyone can even hear me over the wind right now. But the chat is stone silent. Maybe I'm not getting good reception, and I can't tell. Usually it tells me that. Where did you all go? Are you shamed into silence by your poorness? Maybe you're on a Discord right now looking for somebody to give me money. You're like begging your friends. You're like, I must know someone who's not broke. Do any of us know anyone who's not broke? Tell me if you know somebody who's not broke. Like, if you've got a friend who you know that you're like, that guy is not broke. I don't know how he does it. Figure out how that guy does it. And then tell the rest of us. I know a couple of people who are not broke. But I also think they're just smarter and better than I am. So I don't know if I have the wherewithal to copy their methods. Maybe I am just simply not prepared for a life of being not broke and what it would entail to become not broke. Ian Waffles with $5. Thank you very much for contributing to the Unbrokening Fund. Rant about why any updated K-On! Opinions you have. Do you still love it? Things you don't like anymore, etc. I think maybe I've tackled the things I don't like, but I probably feel more strongly about them. Just, you know, I talked about in my videos about K-On! Being a perfect adaptation and all that, like, the manga feels like it needed soul infused into it. Like it was a beat sketch of a good song, you know, that everything good about it was filled in, everything truly good about it was filled in by Kyoto Animation. And so, like, the worst things about it are kind of the remnants of the manga, where, like, the whole Sawako kind of being just really off-putting, you know, like, it's I think, I don't know, maybe other people don't have this issue that I do, but when I come to media, I tend to be looking for it to give me something reflecting reality so that I can use it, you know, like, I want the information I get from media to feel like it's, you know, informative or something, or like I get something out of it. And so if there's an aspect of it that contradicts the rest of it, or like sours the experience, I want to think about that and like, what is the issue, you know? And to me, I just think that a lot of people, when they first start writing stories, or when their stories first get popular, just aren't writing from that mature of a perspective, you know? Like, they understand enough stuff to connect with other people, but not enough to connect with, you know, not enough to do it uncomfortably, or maybe they're not trying to do it uncomfortably, or like it's just a different comfort zone, you know? I think that, like, the mentality of somebody who thinks that the Sawa-chan dress-up stuff is fun is the mentality of somebody who thinks, well, you know, it's a show, it's fiction, it's a playground. It's just a place to have these characters do fun things, like, you know, dress up in goofy outfits, and whatever excuse the story has for that, it's just in good fun. And I agree with that. It's just that that stuff's not really, it's not that funny, and ultimately what they ended up making the show into feels so real and so heartfelt that the parts of it that feel forced and feel like fan servicey really stand out, you know? And it's the kind of thing that just gets, it stands out more the older I get, returning to the show, looking for the mature parts of its perspective. Like, I would likely skip over certain, you know, just certain episodes or certain parts that just aren't that interesting. And again, I think a lot of that is like stuff, like, I think I said in the adaptation video that, like, of all the content in the show, like, a fourth of it is from the manga, and half of that is the worst stuff in the show, you know? So, you know, ultimately, it's the way that the studio brought the story and the characters to life and made it feel so real, and it showed you, I mean, to me, K-On! Is a show about realizing that other people can make up for your flaws if you work together as a group, you know? Like, that's the fundamental message of the show, is wherever your shortcomings are, you can find people that can help fill in. And like, there's going to be some rough spots and some difficulty in trying to, like, understand each other and really, you know, jive with one another. But once you do, and you start realizing the positive effects that other people have had on you, then that, like, you know, enriches the experience. I think I'm at a place in life where I'm just a lot more cynical than I was when I first saw K-On! Was in a stage where I was first starting to like have friends that made me feel that way, you know, like made me feel like, oh, we're all kind of learning and growing together, and like we've all made each other better people, you know, be it my at home friends from before I was on the internet, or the friends I made on the internet in the early days, you know. And then over time, you know, there's been a lot of drama with a lot of those people. And so like when I watch K-On!, it's like nostalgia for a time when, you know, we never saw that those relationships play into adulthood. We never saw the complications of them trying to keep up with one another, if they did, you know. And the manga kind of does it by having college years for a little bit and all that. But like, and there's implications in the anime about like, you know, well, if they go the same route as their sensei and all the, you know, her band, then you know, one day they'll probably not have hurt each other for a few years, or they only get together every once in a while. But like, you know, which to me is still a healthy friendship. It's just what an adult friendship is. But like, K-On! Doesn't explore adult friendship that much. And so, you know, that was more like a little bit of wisdom and insight being given to the show for you as a kid, as like expectations of what the future's going to be. But actually being in the future, I'm more interested in stories about the next part, you know, the next 10 years that I've now lived through. I barely fucking remember high school, you know. I don't think about high school. I've blocked out most of the shit that happened after high school at this point. So, you know, it feels lifetimes away from me, you know. Done a lot of drugs between high school and today. You're getting broke now that you have to pay for your student fees overseas. Thanks, Dad. Yeah. Luckily, I don't have that problem. You know, my dad actually paid for my couple of years in community college. I should say like a year and a half of sporadic class taking. But it became clear to me, I dropped out of college because of the fact that I got a D in my psychology class, which was my favorite class, because I would pay attention during class, but I would never do the homework. And all of the tests would be like directly quoting pages from the stuff we were supposed to read for homework. So I would always be shit on the tests, even though I was like super engaged in the actual class. And I realized that a D was not a transferable grade if I wanted to go to a four-year college. And I was like, this is fucking pointless. This is a waste of my time and money. I suck at this. I should not be trying to do this. I need to do something else. And then I did nothing for a year and a half. Cosmic Blue with $10. Thank you incredibly much. You've been contributing a ton to these streams. I assume you are not broke. I celebrate your lack of brokenness and the unbrokening of me that you have been contributing to. I've been off weed for 6 months now because I read anti-weed stuff online and general anxiety. I thought it would change a lot of things in my life, but it changed precisely tick. Registered a new card today. Yeah, so the weed question has been, it's been something that bothers me a lot, because I function very well high, but it takes a lot of weed, because it's diminishing returns. If you smoke all the time, it takes more and more. I work from home. I have every opportunity to smoke whenever I want, you know, so it's very easy for me to just fucking smoke a preposterous amount of weed. And, you know, I've figured out how to make it cheaper, but my tolerance has only grown over the years. So, you know, I'm not spending as much on weed as I used to, but I'm smoking more, well, not more than ever, but as much as ever, just, you know. But like, it's only like a negative in my life insofar as it costs money, you know, that like, if I was making more money, I would have no reason to be upset at myself for smoking so much weed. But you could make the argument that I was making more money before I started smoking weed and have never really made as much money since I started smoking weed. So is the weed the problem? It could be. But at the same time, I know so many people who are incredibly successful, who are always high, and you know, I don't know how it could be that it was specifically standing in the way of my success, other than being placating. Like, maybe being high makes me too happy and not like angry enough to get stuff done. But I truly do get a lot more done now than I used to back before I was getting high, because I spent a lot more time just like being miserable, like just laying around and not doing anything. And I wasn't as fast at anything I did back then either. So I feel like I work harder and better. Like, I work both smarter and harder for less every year, which is confusing. But I assume that I karmically deserve this for being a terrible person. So, you know, just remember, when you back this horse, you're backing the evil horse. You're backing the dark horse here. I am an anti-hero. I am a, you know, social outcast, a broke stranger. So, in supporting me by giving me super chats for rant requests, just remember, this regime that I do aim to take over with is not to spread peace, love, and understanding. It's to spread war, rage, hate, peace, and understanding. You gotta detox once in a while. That is true. It helps. I mean, the tea breaks, when you come back from a tea break, the high is fucking insane. You know, I've had tea breaks, so it's not like I've been, usually not by choice. Usually it's because I was in a place I couldn't get weed. And frankly, it was kind of nice last year when Bird and I had a regular job, because I just couldn't smoke for 8 or 9 hours out of the day, and I, you know, it saved a considerable amount, you know, because it's like I'm only able to smoke like right when I wake up or right after work / right before bed, you know, which were usually kind of at the same time. Now granted, at those times you're like fucking desperately huffing it down, trying to fucking get over all the stress of working for 8 hours, but you know. Summer number 15,532 with 222 pound. Thank you. Artfully done again. Please cover the education part of my last request. Shit, did I miss a part of your last request? I don't even remember. Education. Was this the one about... You don't have to pay to say it, but just in the chat, let me know what was the education part of your last request. Because I do not remember, and I don't think I can get to the supers list while I'm doing this. AI? Oh, AI's use in education. Okay. Well, I don't really know how it's being used in education. Like, when I really do think the only thing that, like, to me, like, is innately useful about AI is making funny shit. Like, it's really good at comedy, because comedy is often in error. So, like, the fact that it looks fucked up and weird is part of the joke. And so, you know, and it's like, when you combine the dumbness of an idea, like of making it do something dumb, with both the quality that it's trying to achieve and the particulars of how it's fucking up, that's like top tier humor, you know? So I think the applications for AI in comedy are tremendous, and you can employ comedy in school in a lot of great ways, you know? Like, if you want to, like, if you know that you've got kids in your class who listen to a certain YouTuber or something, and there's like an AI voice mod of that YouTuber, and you want to put your lesson plan through that voice mod and have it read that to the kids, I think that's a clever way to use AI in you're not changing anything about the lesson. You're just changing the presentation of the lesson, you know, to make it more accessible. I think that would be great. you know? But that's no different from, for instance, if I was going to teach a class how to read Shakespeare by using Britney Spears' Toxic, you know, just being like, this is how you do iambic pentameter. I wish somebody had taught me that in high school, because I didn't learn that until afterward, how to read Shakespeare correctly. I learned that through Eminem and The Way I Am. So, you know, I think that would be a great application. But if you're trying to, like, am I worried about kids cheating everything and learning nothing? No. I think if you are capable of cheating your way through school, you are the only smart one in school. If you have to learn it in order to pass the classes, that means that you're struggling. The smartest people I know, all the smartest kids I went to school with, they did not have to do shit. They did way less work than anybody else because it was so fucking easy for them. Where, like, you know, I think of two friends of mine from high school. One was Don-san, who he had to, it's really unfortunate, he had to get a GED. He could not graduate because he had chronic migraines every morning and he missed, like, several years of school. But all the work that he would be sent, he would get it done immediately because he just simply knew the answers. He was the kind of person who could just read a textbook, comprehend it, you know, like read it, like basically he just knows that information. So, you know, he taught himself Japanese while he was in high school. He was able to pass all the Japanese classes because he already knew Japanese. You know, he got 100% on every GED test. He just simply couldn't finish school, you know? So that to me is a type of genius where, you know, he never had to study. He just read the book and knew it. And then Brandon Tolentino, who, when he was in college, going to ODU, he would go online and look up, basically research all of the professors to find out what professors are the most lenient. What classes can I sleep through? You know, like what classes are going to test me with information that's easy to find in the book, or, you know, what classes have been, like what textbooks are leaked online, that kind of thing. Like, he would research all of that before the semester starts, and then just fucking breeze through a semester, ace all of his classes, doing nothing but coming over to my house, getting drunk and playing fighting games most days, you know, like, so I think, like, smart people, they figure out that school is like a game, you know, it's there to figure out what level of pawn are you, or are you not a pawn, you know? And I think that some of the dumbest fucking people I've ever met are people who are great in school. Bankers are a big one, where, like, you consider how many banks there are, right, in America. How many, like, low-level banks there are. Just, you know, every street corner basically has several banks on it. And people will, like, go to school, go to college, get a degree, become a banker because they think of it as, like, a good job, because you wear, like, a snazzy suit and you're all fully made up and you're talking to people about money. But what you're really doing is the shittiest customer service job in the world. No one who comes into your place has any idea what the fuck is going on. You're not working with people who understand money. You're working with people who fucking suck with it, that your, you know, organization exists to take advantage of. And all of these people, like, they just do the most boring, shitty job. They hate the customers. They all hate the ignorance of the customers. They look down on them because they think of them as lesser beings that they're presiding over from their stature as banker. An incredibly common job that is, again, mostly communication that most of them fucking suck at. So I have seen mostly people be terrible at that job, but very proud of it. And it doesn't pay well. You have no power or control over your environment. Like, the company decides everything that goes on in the bank. You basically are just a node for, like, a thing that needs to happen that literally anybody could do. And all of the testing, all the school you went to is just to prove that, like, you care enough about how you, like, appearances to be a banker, you know? You care enough about appearances to not want to fuck up tremendously at your job. so we can make you do anything, for your job. Yeah, I mean, and when you're, it's funny, like, I just at only at like the highest, only the people who like own the whole bank really can make like a meaningful decision about that bank's future. This goes for any corporation really, but like whoever, I mean, unless it's obviously board of directors or there's lots of ways to make a company not completely make no fucking sense. But a lot of companies are just basically like, yeah, there's a guy in charge who, if he decides tomorrow on a whim that he thinks that things should be changed, and then that decision backfires and everyone loses their jobs because we're not making money anymore, that guy's not going to go to prison for that. He's just going to get another job doing the same thing for another company. While somebody else buys out that original company, changes the branding, hires in a new cycle of people, and history repeats itself. OMG, Trixie came back. I'm back every day. Oh, you mean back from earlier? Yes, I am back from earlier. For once, I came back. I came back for the money. I need the money. I'm doing it all for the fans and the Skrilla, as Dick said. But I know that my real fans are broke. Only a few of you have money, and you truly are holding the whole empire in place. I have to assume that you really want my messages out there or something. You must really want there to be more people like me in the world, because that's the main thing. That's the main thrust of this content and its existence, is it inspires other people to think more like me. And some people seem to think that's very helpful for them. Is it helpful for me? I think so, because in spite of being terminally broke, I am happy. I'm even willing to show my face to the world and tell it how broke I am, which was not always true. I was broker 2 years ago. I was much more broke, I should say. I was not a broker. I was overdrafting my bank almost every month, like 2 years ago. I think I might have like made a couple of tweets about it, like, haha, I'm broke. But I didn't want to seem like an e-beggar by telling people and being like, I have no money, give me money. But I am an e-beggar. That's my job. That is literally my job, is to beg for money on the internet. I can, like, I am basically a common busker, but I don't know, I don't have a good singing voice or know how to play an instrument. All I know how to do is rap. That's it. I was one of the less terrible formative internet people for you. That's good. Less terrible is a good place to be, God, who was the more terrible ones? Who were the really terrible ones? I'm curious. I'm glad my formative internet figures were good for the most part. I truly, I don't know where I'd be if Ghost Lightning had not mentored me, like if he had not been very patient with, when I say someone as a mentor, I basically just am describing a person with tremendous patience, like a person who is willing to not shit on you relentlessly for the fact that you make constant mistakes, I like to think that I fulfill somewhat of a mentor role to my audience because I treat you like a person that I'm just speaking to directly. Partly because a lot of people in my audience I have met or would like to meet. And if I wouldn't like to meet you because I think you're kind of shitty, I let you know. I make it pretty clear when I think my audience are dickbags or whatever, So I like to think that's the appeal, is the real ass perspective. Thank you for being on my phone internet person who didn't turn out to be a pedo. God, how many of them did? I don't know. I'm glad, again, I'm very glad that my formative internet people, you know, thank God I had ghostlighting. I'm glad I wasn't well, it probably helps that I didn't like a celebrity, you know, like, he was never a celebrity, he was never somebody, which, like, I don't know, I think when you get into the world of being creative, like, you start off knowing about the arts because of the extremely famous people, right? Like it's almost impossible that the first, unless it was somebody you knew or somebody like in your family or your town, it's very unlikely that like whatever got you into an artistic medium was really obscure. You know, it was probably something on the radio or on TV. And then from there, you took a deeper interest and started looking into, you know, the deeper side of things. But like, you know, I'm lucky in a sense that there were no real internet celebrities to feel that way about, to have, like, you know, I never became like an obsessive fan of Angry Video Game Nerd, because the only stuff he covered that I knew about was the Ninja Turtles movies. So like, I loved those videos, but I didn't really end up watching much of his other stuff, as influential as I do consider him to be even on me. But like, I never had like an internet celebrity to look up to. I just had anime bloggers and people who were all kind of like on my level, you know, people who I had no reason to treat like they were different than me. We were all in the same forums and all, you know, running our blogs through the same sites. So there was never this feeling of like, oh, these people are famous or whatever. But like, I read a lot of anime blogs because I wanted people to read my anime blog and I wanted to communicate with them. And, you know, I found Ghostlightning because of the fact that he commented on one of my posts. And he just found me because there was an aggregator site called Anime Nano that you could plug your RSS feed if they accepted you as an anime blog. You know, you'd give them your RSS and it would just post the RSS feed of all the blogs that had submitted to it. So when Ghostlightning started his blog, he figured the best way to get people's attention was to comment meaningful comments on everyone else's blogs. So he went through Anime Nano and he just left good comments on basically every post, you know, and because of the fact that his name was a click-through link back to his blog, a bunch of people found it through that, including me. And I read his blog and it was the first person where I could clearly say, like, definitively, this guy's a way better writer than me. Like, this guy knows what he's fucking talking about. A lot of his writing went over my head. Like, I straight up couldn't process what he was saying in a lot of the posts because it was just too mature, too high of a reading level. You know, he's an actual English major. You know, he, like, wrote a thesis on the fucking Silmarillion. So he really knows his shit in a way that I couldn't at all without, you know, just getting the barest bits of shit that he taught me, you know? And, but like the willingness to go to everyone's blog and leave a nice comment, like it's almost like reverse Machiavellianism, you know, where like he's just being nice to people indiscriminately for the purpose of getting people to pay attention to his blog, you know? But it works so incredibly well and it made everybody respect him, everybody loved him, you know, like he quickly became the most beloved, like, analytical anime writer. And his comment sections would be 12 times the size of the post, you know, because it would be him back and forth with everybody who comments. Gary always at $2. What you're saying is how I feel about all celebrities. Well, that's good. I mean, that's the right way to feel, is like, that's just another person, you know? But I think I do think, like, when I think of somebody as a celebrity, like, to me there is kind of there's a line between, like, influencer and celebrity, and I would put myself in the influencer category. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to be famous, I'm trying to be influential. I'm trying to change the way people act and think and behave to benefit me, you know, to create a society I can better function in. And it's working. It's working really well, actually. It's astonishing how much easier it is for me to exist in the world now than it was 10 years ago. And I'm sure I had something to do with that, you know? So, like, that's more what I'm about. But when people are trying to be celebrity, it's because they want something. Like, they want like recognition, they want girls, they want, you know, money for cars and stuff. Like, they want the celebrity image and lifestyle. And no part of that is particularly appealing to me, mostly because I grew up with my mom being very cynical about, like, just basically any type of, like, fruitless money spending. Like, anything that's just ego stroking with your money, my mom is very against. So she's very anti-jewelry, you know, like, at least expensive or, you know, craft jewelry. Like, she'd be fine with making something at home, like making something for yourself to wear. You know, and like stuff that people are just doing, not like mass-produced stuff, you know. So for me, growing up with the perspective from a kid of like laughing at people who, including even my parents, because even though my mom doesn't like status symbols, she does like nice cars, you know, or she likes fast cars, I should say. So, you know, she's driven around a fucking Firebird, you know, she's driven around a Challenger, and these are gas guzzling, you know, wasteful, expensive cars. She doesn't do this anymore. Now she's driving a full electric ID4. But, you know, point being, everyone has some stuff they're immature about and egotistical about and want to, like, you know, that makes them feel better about their identity. But most of that is kind of also weakness. And it's like, you know, deep down that, like, if you want to be a better person, you have to get over that shit. You have to really ask yourself, like, is like owning a fucking $100,000 car going to make me happier? Because, like, what about it is so, you know, what about it is worth all this money? Like, I think a lot of people want to be rich because they don't want to have to make value judgments. They just want to be able to get what they want. Yeah, they don't want to have to, like, decide if it's good or bad to want that thing. And I think that's the culture that is under attack now, because it should be. It's wasteful. It's just, and it's self-destructive. You know, it's people trying to fill the void without understanding how that can be done, because they're not willing to listen to collated knowledge. And I can be guilty of this, but I also, you know, for me, the source of the knowledge is very important. I'm trying to get off the beach because it's getting too fucking windy. How much grooming did it take for Bird to find you attractive? That's an odd question. Grooming. Bird and I met and immediately started dating, so none. Who are you? What's it to ya? That's a funny name. Patrick Star looking tooth is too much. Does he have like a one tooth thing? Yeah, he does, doesn't he? Alright, who are you? What's it to you? What's your deal? What's going on with you? You seem to be here to do a roast, but I don't know anything about you, so I can't have a comeback. It's the worst thing is getting roasted by nobodies, because you don't, like, what do I say other than you're a nobody, which they know. They're probably proud of it, you know? I'm so anonymous, nobody has any idea who I am. I just cause chaos. I'm like the Joker, baby. Hoo hoo hoo. That's what you seem like. So desperate for a W, he had to put it in the profile pic. That's funny. It does. YouTube picks whatever the first letter is of your name is if you don't have an avatar. But he probably did pick a W name just to have W be the avatar. I would bet anything. That sounds like the level of thought operation a person like that would be on. Oh, Skippity's calling me a pedophile. That gets you immediately banned. Goodbye. Kill yourself, Skippity. In Minecraft, I guess. I have to say that for legal reasons. But you know in your heart what you should do. You know that living is a burden for everybody else when you do it. So you shouldn't. It would be a better look for you if you died young, because you would be making a heroic sacrifice for everybody else. You could be like, I knew I was so annoying, I removed myself from the picture. You know, there's a nobility in that. So, you know, find the nobility within yourself. That's the new phrase I'm going to use. That's my my euphemism treadmill for kill yourself. Find the nobility within yourself to leave the rest of us alone. That's what I'm going to start telling people to do. Oh, you're a troll? Yes, what's it, Toya? What's it, Toya? Why don't you go ahead and, you know, make the... Fuck, I forgot what I said already. Shit. Make the righteous decision. We'll use that. Make the righteous choice. What's it, Toya? You know in your heart what the righteous choice is. Better off ignoring and banning toxic people, but then I don't get to tell them to die. You don't understand. I want them. That's part of the game. For me, this is about bullying. I love bullying. I'm a huge bully. I think that people need to be reminded that they are a problem until they either stop being a problem or die. Like, those are the only real possibilities a problem person has. You know, like, you either need to change your behavior or you need to, you know, be bullied away. You need to be sent off. Now, I can ban people from the chat, which means that they can't say anything, but a lot of people take that as a W. They're like, well, I wanted to get banned, you know, like, that means that what I said was offensive. And it's like, no, it's not that what you said is offensive. It's that your presence on this earth is unwanted, and you need to understand that. It's not, you don't get banned because you're upsetting. You get banned because you shouldn't exist. So, like, it's really important people really get that. I don't want to just ban them and not tell them why they're getting banned. You have to know how badly you don't deserve to live when you're getting banned. I hope we all understand. Giving them attention makes them want to come back. Interacting with positive people is better content, IMO, but you do you. Well, I mean, if there were positive people here saying things for me to interact with, I'd interact with them instead. But there were a couple of trolls, so, you know, I just take all comers. In the mouth, in the face, you know, sometimes it gets in my eyes. But to me, it's all just content. It is what it is. I don't know. I don't get emotionally charged from that kind of stuff the way other people do. I think there's some people who, like, when I get confrontational with a commenter, they suddenly feel like they're in a confrontation. You know, but, or like they're reminded of the existence of confrontation, I guess. But, like, I love confrontation. I like watching confrontational content. I like seeing people dragged out of their comfort zone, you know? So to me, that is part of the appeal, is the emotional whiplash of going between, you know, because it's the internet. I mean, it is constant. It's every perspective all the time, right? So if I only focus on some people's perspective, I'm basically ignoring half of what's there, you know? I don't want to ignore what's there. I want to use every part of the animal, you know? Hopefully that makes sense. I don't want you to think it's like a, you know, oh shit, now this is a drama stream or whatever. It's always a drama stream. Life is drama. The purpose of my content is mostly to throw you into constant existential quandary so that you come out the other side stronger. You know, my hope is that it's like a mind, like, you know, mind muscle regrowth. You know, you break a muscle and it grows back stronger, like doing that for your brain. Reminding you you're gonna die a lot sooner than you think, you're gonna die under mysterious circumstances you don't understand, nobody's gonna be prepared for your death, somebody else might kill themselves because you died, you know, you might live and have an overall net negative impact on the world. Actually, living usually has an overall net negative impact on the world. So it's likely that's happening. It's also likely you don't even care. Or even if you do care, like, you're gonna realize you care, and then you're gonna double down because you're like, oh fuck, well now I have to, like, really you know, either change or like decide I'm just bad, which is what most people do. And that's the smart choice. Being good is too much for you. Humble yourself. Recognize you're not good enough to be good. Just be what you are. You know, if what you are is shitty, that's fine. But you know, be careful, because if your shittiness starts rubbing off on me, I don't want shit on me, you know? So if you start getting shit on me, I'm gonna be like, hey, shit man, shit stain, get the fuck out of here. Take that shit somewhere else, you know? All right, I'm having too much fun with this wordplay. I need another rant request. I'll go on like this all fucking day. My favorite type of writing is emotional whiplash writing. Something good, and then something bad, then something awesome, but something worse, and then something really good, and then shittiness. I don't know, I feel like my brain moves too fast to let me have a truly positive or truly negative, like, experience unless it gets real, you know, it can get really bad or really good to a point where it's like, wow, even these negative thoughts are not turning me away from how good I feel, or wow, even my positive self-reaffirming thoughts are not helping how bad I feel. But you know, usually it's just such a mix of everything all the time that I'm just kind of numb to it. Comics Blue for $2. Thank you very much for basically you know, contributing like half of all funds to the last couple of streams. Thoughts on Tool. Also, you forgot Gary Super. God damn it. Where's this Gary Super? What you're saying is how I feel about all celebrities. That one? I touched on that. Oh, the karma is loser talk. Go win, sister, and detox sometimes. Yeah, okay. I agree. Karma is loser talk. I was just saying that because, you know, it sounds, it's like dramatic. But, you know, when you don't believe in luck and karma, other motherfuckers want to harm your logic. They don't like it when you're honest, when you're challenged, do what gives them balance. Fall back on your talents, tip those scales in your favor, become your own saver, as long as you can save your time without losing your mind and blowing it out for going that route. No doubt it matters. If we're bad, there'd be nothing. How could I stop you? I'm not you. I'm alive, fulfilled, spilled out on the found tracks instead of on the ground. I'm something somehow, and I have doubts about how I got there, having been profound. That's from Almost Nothing, my song from like a decade ago. Anyway, thoughts on Tool. I was very much a Tool, like, I won't call myself a super fan because I was too young to like go find all their fucking EPs and all that shit, or like get out to any of their shows. I have seen Tool live once. It wasn't that great though. It was in like a you know, basketball stadium type like stadium show, and I just didn't think the sound was that great. And Tool, like, as I understand it, they have sometimes like crazy ass festival shows where they've got they bring all kinds of shit out on stage. It wasn't really like that. It was more of just like, you know, playing the songs. I mean, there was a part where they brought out a second drum kit and there was like a double drum solo. But I don't know. I probably, this was like before I was doing drugs and I wasn't drunk, so maybe it would have been different if I'd been like mad high or something, but I was just kind of like, it doesn't sound that good. But that was also like, I wasn't the most into Tool anymore by that point. And I would say like the first EP, I still can jam that whole thing through pretty much. I don't love every song on it, but a couple of songs are really great, and like it's just such an easy throw and go rock album, you know. And then Undertow, you know, it's a little bit more heady, a little bit more heavy, but there's just so many good songs on it. Like almost every song on Undertow is just like a total knockout in its concept and execution. Inema was the first one that I actually got into. It was, you know, probably 2005. 2004, 2005, when my cousin had downloaded like all their discography onto my computer, along with a whole ton of other shit. And I just basically started exploring all this random music he had downloaded, and Tool was one of the bands that really caught my attention, like a band I really fell for. And I knew them because I known Enema, or Enema, however you want to say it. I knew Enema from the music video, which I had seen like 3 or 4 years earlier, and it fucking haunted me. Like I had like nightmares about that video. I thought it was so fucked up and freaky, particularly the part where they're pulling like the veins out of one another. It is a dope video, but it freaked me out as a kid. And I also knew, wait, did I say Enema was the first song I knew? No, I meant Schism. I knew both. I'd heard both Enema and Schism on the radio, but Schism is the one with the freaky video where they're pulling the veins out of each other. That was the one that had freaked me out. And then, like, you know, hearing that song a little bit older and being in like a really moody headspace when I was 14, like, you know, I started to appreciate it. I started diving into the lyrics and stuff. And this was when I was getting really into the Mars Volta, and it was before Coheed and Cambria. So, like, basically, like, Francis the Mute and like the suite of music I was listening to that I just had at my disposal when I was 14 in my room was Meteora by Linkin Park, fucking American Idiot by Green Day, like Francis the Mute by the Mars Volta, the first 3 Tool albums, and like I was starting to get into like Guar in places and just like some other weird stuff that I had downloaded. But that was like the main stuff I remember. And then that got me so into music that I started buying music once my family had money again and I could afford to buy things. Previously I had been buying anime DVDs and just collecting anime and manga. And then I couldn't afford to do that, or and video games for a while. And then, you know, when I started collecting again, I started collecting CDs. This was before every piece of music of all time was available freely online. So now my CDs are fucking worthless, but unless some of them are rare or something, I don't know. But like one of the first CDs I bought was Coheed and Cambria's In Keeping Secrets of Silent Earth 3. And so it was like Tool, Coheed, and Mars Volta were like my holy 3 prog trinity, you know, in my prog phase. Anyway, Anthemic Lullaby / Joshua with $5 says, rant about the concept of the unity of opposites, sometimes called the dialectic, the idea that opposite forces are interdependent on each other. I believe in that very heavily. I mean, honestly, I'm realizing maybe not everybody knows about Alan Watts. I feel like most people have gone through a phase of like listening to a bunch of Alan Watts talk, you know, like, because you can just go online and find, you know, like hours-long videos that are just Alan Watts discussions, you know, and it's mostly explaining like dialectic ideas, you know, and which are like the foundation of Taoist principles and stuff. So, you know, a lot of it was him in the 70s trying to introduce like Eastern ideas of spirituality to Americans who didn't understand any of this shit. And, you know, a lot of what he talks about is the nature of opposites, the necessity of one to the other's existence. And, you know, if you think of everything as basically tiny vibrating molecules, right? Vibration implies a pattern of wave, right? There has to be a direction you move in and then another direction you move in. So you cannot move around if there's no space. This creates a very interesting paradox that I'm a little bit obsessed with, of negative space. Space in which there is nothing, of which there must be as much as there is space, if not more, right? Like there must be as much nothing in between some things as there is some things, if not much more nothing. What is nothing? Nothing is nothing. Like, it seems irrational, and yet our conception of somethingness necessitates there being a nothing, and we haven't gotten to a point of proving the lack of a nothing. You know, how do you prove that there's not nothing? You know, so from a philosophical perspective, um, hold on, what are you guys talking about live music in here for? This has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. What's going on? I gotta learn about this. It's amazing how awful live music is. No, that's just a terrible, terrible, terrible take, Anonymous. I'm sorry. Well, and it's, what are you coming to it for? Like, what are you there for? You know, I think there, a lot of people struggle with, like, there are live shows that suck. There are lots of live shows that suck. But, like, I don't know, I feel like I would know before I went whether that band was going to be good live or not, you know? Like, I'd look into it. Some bands, I want you to go, actually, here's a great example. There's a band that's, I probably missed this show, actually, now I'm thinking about it. It was like today or something. There's a group called Coffin Cats. They're like a psychobilly, you know, punk, freak folk type band. And they're fine. All their songs kind of sound the same. It's all just sort of boilerplate, you know, decent punk music. Kind of like Misfits, but not as, like, autistic. But the bandmates, you know, they wear, like, when they go on stage, they're all in, like, corpse paint makeup, you know, they've got, like, you know, leather outfits and stuff. They look like cool rocker skeleton guys. And the lead singer is also the bassist, and he's playing a stand-up bass that he's, like, lifting up and putting behind his head and playing behind his head, and the whole time they are 100% like album accurate. Everything sounds immaculate, his vocals sound immaculate, and he's just, you know, basically flexing the ability to do all this shit at the same time perfectly. And, like, watching the show, it's so clearly practiced. It's, you know, they know exactly what they are going to be doing, down to the antics, you know? So you know, when I found out that band was coming here, I was just researching bands that are going to be playing in my area, right? So I look into them, and I click on an album, and I'm listening to it, and I'm like, yeah, this seems okay, and I'm reading the comments, and all the comments are like, their live shows are crazy, though, you know? So I end up watching a full hour-long live performance. None of the songs stood out to me enough that I actually, like, remember what they were about. But again, it was all just, it's good music, it's fine. There's nothing standout or exceptional about it musically. But watching them perform it was awesome. And that was a free rant. You just actually made me upset, so I had to rant. God damn you. You interrupted whatever I was saying about the unity of opposites. Yeah, listen to some Alan Watts, and that'll tell you stuff about that philosophically. But yeah, I think you have to acknowledge that, you know, that everything comes packaged with its audience, or with its opposite, I mean, you know, high is only recognized by low. And this has helped me a lot from a music theory perspective, because I realized at one point, when you're making music, when you're making a melody, you can only go up or down, or stay in place. Like, every note has to either be up, down, or the same note. Those are the only three options. And when you go up, you innately create a rising action, and when you go down, you innately create a falling action. So it's just about strategically placing, where does the action rise and fall? You know, where does the emotion shift, literally note for note? So, you know, if you're trying to line up 4 chords or whatever, it's just like, does this create a sensation of rising or falling by lining these up? Or does it create a, you know, a sense of motion, or like maybe a build up to a quick fall off, you know, just like, but there always has to be a sense of rise and fall within it, you know? So I think that's a great way to apply, and this also applies to storytelling. You know, you have to have, like, positive moments, negative moments, downturns, at the very least, action and inaction, you know, like, fire rescue truck. So I'm hanging out on this block here. You know, I've been wandering this block because I feel safe here. But I don't know how late I should hang around here before I'm going to start annoying residents and getting the cops called on me. You know, I saw a lot of people return to their homes, and I've kind of been walking around loudly speaking around those homes. Granted, I am pretty stationed. Here, let me show you the island I've been walking around. It's like just this little patch of grass in between all these. You know, there's the beach over there. And there's all these like condos on the beach, and this just big open yard where I guess they haven't built another one yet, or maybe they're gonna build something here, or maybe this is just a big patch of grass forever. Who knows? I would be shocked if this stays. All this shit seems new as hell. Like, all these buildings look incredibly new. So I assume this is an area that's in development, and it will not be so easy to park here 5 years from now. Especially when I'm blowing up the spot. Hey, W89 Pikachu with the 1999. Bless up. I wish I had some theme music to play you. I'll just sing what's in my head. Shiru-miru, 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 shiru-miru. If you get what both of those references are I was just doing, you're living in my brain. All right, how do I find the Kagami to my Konata in 2024? Oh, man. Well, I mean, you gotta find her sister. You gotta find Kagami's twin sister. Because the way that Konata and Kagami met, if you remember, is that Konata rescued Tsukasa from what she assumed was a rapist, but was actually just like an American guy asking for directions. But, you know, this led Tsukasa to invite her over, and then she met Kagami, and I assume fell in love immediately. At least that's, you know, that's how I have interpreted the story of Lucky Star. So the only logical choice is going to be to, you know, to find. So I've got my own Kagami. You know, I've got Bird. Bird is definitely the Kagami to my Konata, and he happens to be a twin. I did not get to him through his twin, though, and not an identical twin. It's a similar situation to Kagami and Tsukasa, where like they're kind of similar but not the same, you know? So, you know, I feel lucky that I didn't even have to go through this circuitous route. I went through the friends, actually. I met Bird because I became friends with Riley and invited him to come live at my house and told him he could bring Bird. And, you know, Bird and I had never met and had almost no concept of one another at all until he walked into my house. And I said, wow, bright eyes. And he decided, oh, this person's a lot cooler than I thought they were going to be. And then, you know, basically I just thought he was the coolest person ever for the whole time, and still do. So if you want to find your Kagami, you gotta go through, you basically just gotta keep making friends until one of them has a hot sister or friend that they end up introducing you to. So, like, don't go out looking for a partner. Go out looking for friends who know somebody that would be a good partner. It helps if the friend is somebody you can trust or is a good person and you don't think they're going to try to fuck you over and stick you with somebody that sucks. But actually, I'm realizing this is now just my general dating advice for everybody. Just make friends. Don't make friends with the intention of fucking those friends. Make friends with the hopes that as a bonus to having made a great friend, they might have great friends that want to fuck you, or like a sister or something. You know, just take the real sociopathic, deep tier manipulation, you know, meeting people just on the hopes that they will help you meet other people. You know, just really be a ruthless dog about your place in society, in all walks of life. That is what this stream is about. This stream is about encouraging people to be your most ruthlessly sociopathic, evil self, because if you don't, someone else is going to do it to you. So, you know, at the very least, understand what those people are thinking. You know, whether you want to yourself be ruthless, maybe you will realize how difficult it is to be successful from hearing me talk about it and just decide you don't want that. You're like, fuck that, actually, you know? trying to achieve more sounds like a pain in the ass, and I'm just gonna be glad with what I've got, you know? That's personally, I'm close to that, but I've got too little. It's really a strain on everyone. Nobody can handle how little money I have. So yeah, I have to correct that part of myself. But am I concerned about becoming a multi-millionaire? I literally don't even know. I don't think I could be held responsible for $1 million. Like, I think 100K, I want to make 100K a year, I'll be fine. 100K a year, I will never ask for more. If I make more, I'll be like bewildered and bemused and like overwrought with joy. That doesn't make sense. Overwrougught's a bad thing. Overcome with joy. That's the word I wanted. I'll be over it with joy. All right. I think I answered that question. Thank you for the $20. It was very nice. Whenever somebody sends a $20 super chat, it's like the universe shifts a little bit, right? Because like making $5 is really nice. It's like, damn, I just got $5. That's like my next meal, you know, my next meal secured, based. And then if somebody sends like $10, it's like, fuck yeah, I can drive to my next meal, you know. But if somebody spends $20, it's like, I could, like, that, if it was just me, if I was only covering myself, that's the day. I don't think it costs more than, I mean, with the amount of weed I smoke, it costs more than $20 a day. But like, otherwise, my living expenses would not be more than $20 a day. Between, you know, the cost of getting me to where I need to go, getting what I need to get at that place, satisfying my needs, you know. Now, granted, this is like because I don't pay rent. Obviously, if I had rent, or if I was trying to, you know, pay for a place like a campground or something, that would be $20 in and of itself. But when you get $20 when you've already made $30, it's like, wait a minute, that's like substantially more. Like, say I had ended the stream before I got that $20 super chat, I'd be living in a world where I made $20 less. That's a whole day less of life, basically, you know? Like, I basically had a day added onto my life because I live streamed a little bit more. That's why I'm always afraid to stop. I'm always afraid to stop because it's like, well, on the one hand, maybe I'll continue for 45 minutes and I won't get any money. But on the other hand, maybe I'll stop right before I was about to get $50, and then I'll really be kicking myself. So how do you guarantee that you're going to be available for people to give you money? You just have to be available all the time. You just got to be live streaming non-stop. Obviously, this is the answer, right? The only way to make money is to stream constantly. I get it now. It all makes sense. Yes, I did come back. Welcome back to Shamanite. I'm trying to stream as much as humanly possible because I would like it that when all of the money comes in next month, there will still be money in my bank at the end of next month. Unlike this month, where I have $40 and will probably have less than that by month's end, even after getting paid tomorrow for last month's contributions. So, you know, I would like to end a month with some money in my bank. It'd be nice. Especially because I don't want to get overdrafted for some stupid fee I forget about. Like, it'll probably be next month, like, fucking some, you know, GoDaddy charges me for all my websites, raises all the rates on my fucking domain names, you know, or Amazon Prime, my yearly Amazon Prime. I don't know when these things happen, you know. You're just sitting there minding your own business and suddenly you get an email, $100 was charged to you from Amazon Prime. You're like, oh, I needed to have $100 today. Necromancer with $2. Say something nice about that anime snob. He's fucking persistent and resilient. Imagine being hated by basically everybody like unironically, and still just sticking to it, you know, just being like, well, you know, I can't change who I am. I won't listen to reason. I'm just gonna keep at it. I assume he's still doing it. I don't know what kind of, you know, I don't know if he makes a living doing it. I don't know if it's like he's got to, like, you know, maybe he's like me, where he's just got that small stable of really dedicated fans who just really want to hear him talk, you know? I don't know. I don't know the monetary. If that anime snob is making more money than me, that would be really funny, actually. That would be really funny. That would be a great thing he could have on me. If that anime snob realized that he has more, he probably right now has more money than me. I have $40. If that anime snob has less than $40 right now, then I would be shocked. I would truly be shocked. I think he could probably take this W. I think he could walk this W right to the bank. That anime snob, if you want to make a video tomorrow about how Trixie the Golden Witch is broke, go ahead. But if you call me Digibro in that video, I will kill you. I will actually kill you. That is an open threat. I know you won't do anything about it because that would be bitch made and everybody would make fun of you for getting threatened by a trans person and calling the police. But I'll kill you. For real. In real life, not Minecraft. If anybody else sends this to the police, they'll be like, why do you care? You're not the one being threatened. That guy said it's okay. He doesn't want to press charges because he's an edgelord on the internet. But if you call me Digibro, I will kill you, that anime snob. Anyways, you can make fun of me, though, for making less money than me. Gary Always with $5. If I ever send a $20 super chat, it means I'm finna find the nobility within myself. I'm a nickel and dime motherfucker. That is interesting. $20 as a suicide super chat is pretty low as a bar. I don't know if you guys know this meme that Dick Masterson has, because you know the motto of the Dick Show / biggest problem community is thank you for not killing yourself. And he has this t-shirt that he sells that's like a cat hanging from a wire, and it says hang in there, and the shirt is like, I think $5 grand or something like that, 10 grand, like a lot of money. And basically whenever somebody says they're going to kill themselves, Dick's like, well, you have to understand that if you're really planning to kill yourself, you have no reason not to max out all of your credit cards, like take out loans, like just take a bunch of money that you're not going to give back because you're going to die. So if you're really serious about killing yourself, buy the fucking shirt first. At least buy the shirt. You're not going to be held accountable for that $5 grand. So buy the shirt. No one's ever bought the shirt. So that's unfortunate. It's only unfortunate because people have killed themselves without buying it. Otherwise, it would be a good thing that no one's bought the shirt, obviously. Snob would call me Digipedo. He might do that, but I'll kill him. I just need him to understand. I'll go to any lengths, you know? I'll find his Greek ass. He's not hard to miss. He's blimp-sized. If he still looks the way he used to. The problem is, I would rather that anime snob took a W from me because it's too easy to roast him, you know? Like, there's too much material to work with. I know that's true for me, but he doesn't have the ability to use all of that material the way that I do. You know, I would pick that carcass clean, like a pig picking, you know? That's what we do in the South. We roast a pig, and then we literally, bit by bit, I've never actually been to one of these, but they bit by bit, like, take toothpicks and fucking remove little bits of the whole hog. And that's what I would do. I would do a pig picking on him if he fucked up the way that he makes, if he fucked up the way he took his W, basically, is what I'm saying. You know, I operate on Kendrick Lamar rules, all right? It's you don't tell lies about me, I won't tell truths about you. You can tell the truth about me, that I make less money, but if you start calling me a pedophile, I'm gonna ruin your life, because that's where we're at now. If you're gonna tell lies about me, I'm gonna ruin your fucking life. At any cost. You might be thinking, how would I do that? I don't know. I'll figure it out. I'll dedicate all of my time, my every waking hour, to spitefully building a hatred campaign. I'll find a way. Hate finds a way. That's what Jurassic Park was about, right? I'm just going to listen to nothing but the Delgado's album Hate over and over again on repeat. All right, somebody please send me a super chat rant request so I can talk about something other than the maniacal thoughts in my head about a fictional war that I wouldn't have started with that anime snob, but now I fear I've already begun by saying all these things. Fear I've already begun. Wow, it's getting too quiet here. I'm kind of getting weird about being in this place now. It is very safe. I'm the only person here, but I feel like it might be time for me to head out. I could just sit in the car, probably. Nobody's gonna care. Macaroni King, $5. Thank you very much. Every campaign needs a good war chest. Yes, that is true. That is true. The war campaign is, I mean, right now, it's pretty much just my fighting spirit. That's all we've got. That's all the resources at my disposal is my raw fighting spirit and, you know, the people who listen to me, who keep me going, all of you, make me feel like I must be at least somewhat interesting because you won't stop listening to me. Let me get this fucking thing on the goddamn hook. I'm trying to hook my phone into the, it's one of these things where you, like, insert it onto the, air vent, but it sucks. It's kind of fucked up. See, I'm at a point where, like, I have a lot of cheap things I bought with the hope that eventually I'd replace them with nicer things, and then, instead, now I've got broken cheap things. Every campaign needs a good war chest, yeah. Do I just use the mic on my phone for streaming? Yes, I've just been streaming straight into the phone. Because there's no way for me to plug my nice microphone into my phone. My Scarlett, what's it called? My preamp. My preamp needs phantom power. The phone does not have enough power to power it, so it would not be able to power the microphone. Now, when I do horizontal streaming, where I'm just, like, at home at my desktop, then, I can use the microphone. I could theoretically, like, do vertical streaming from my laptop and, like, set up the video in a way that makes it work, but just this whole system of, like, the way this vertical live streaming works is, like, you open up YouTube, you press the go live button, type in a title, take a thumbnail, and then you're live, and it immediately starts sending it to people, like, right away. It's not like people click on this or whatever. It's like you're scrolling through your shorts feed, and now suddenly you're watching my live stream, which for discovery, for me, is tremendous because it keeps me in the feed longer. Whereas, like, if I just put out a video and then YouTube doesn't necessarily push that video to you, you're never going to see it, but this way, the chances of YouTube pushing me to you are basically the same every moment. Every time somebody who could potentially end up on my video scrolls up on a YouTube short, there's a potential I come up. So just the discoverability, which is basically the biggest problem I'm having right now as a creator, is discoverability. It's people don't know I'm making the stuff I'm making. They are not getting it. It's not getting to them. And I don't have a budget to market myself. I don't have, I don't have connections, or I'm not good at working with other people. My work is not very collaborative. So it's like, how do I, as an individual creator with no backing, make myself more discoverable? And so the best odds I have are just showing up in the feed all day long by streaming all day long, and it's working. I'm making a lot more money than I have been in a long time doing this. I just have to wait for it all because of the weird way that YouTube works. I kind of want to turn on the car because it's musky in here, but I don't want the engine noise. I guess I'll just open the door, let the air in, let the sea breeze in. YouTube's algorithm is massive trolling. Yeah, it's very strange. Oh, there's no topic to be interrupted right now. I'm waiting on somebody to super chat me a good old-fashioned rant request, and then I'll go off. I'll go crazy. I'll tell you everything there is to know about it. Are there battery pack / data cable hub combos, I guess? I have no idea. I'm using this thing that I got recently. Still at 4 bars. That's pretty impressive, actually, considering how long we've been going for. Unless those lights don't actually mean anything. But yeah, the other part of your question, data cable hub, I don't actually know what that is. I am starting to get a little bit tired and hungry. I went to do this stream because Bird was asleep, but at some point he's gonna wake up and he's gonna be hungry. And we got some breakfast sausage and some eggs and some hash brown patties to cook up to eat for dinner. So I might be heading out soon. But if anybody has something you want me to rant about, send me that super chat money and I'll do it. Timothy Whaley, I didn't watch Solo Leveling. Victoria Ray says, I linked the AI rant from last stream to some anti-AI friends and I am getting the smoke right now. That's funny. People really hate AI and it's, to me it's embarrassing. Like, you're trying to fight the fucking ocean with that. Like, it's crazy to me when liberals are like arguing against a new technology, you know, because they're like, it's bad for the environment. It's like, that's environmental conservatism. I mean, I'm for it, but it's just an interesting platform to hear from, you know, people who want to see evolution in these other spaces. Curious that you still use a cell phone, which is, you know, built with conflict minerals, but you have a huge problem with AI. All right, sure, checks out to me. But how can I live without my smartphone? I don't know, maybe don't live. It's that easy. You want to do something really good for the world, you know, either give a lot more or stop taking so much, you know? I've been advocating suicide too much on this stream. I'm gonna end up with like real heat over this. I can see it coming. People are not gonna be happy about it. Smashing that heart is a good ass stim. That is true. That's true. Smash that motherfucking like. Sarah Louise just mixed a phenomenal new song that we've got together that I'm not releasing yet because I don't want it to be the second single from my new album, but it will be on my new album. I've sent it to my rapper friends and my producer friends. So, you know, if you want the leak, hit me up somewhere, I guess. But yeah, it's a dope new song. It's called 100K. 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 I'm just gonna get it stuck in your head before you even hear it. 100K. 100K. K. I asked Snob, he said he has 200 times $40, so big win. God damn, that's what? 4 times 2, 8,000. He's got 8 grand. All right, Snob, you did it. You did it. You got 8 grand. That's I think I did my math right. I hope I'm correct on that. How long will it take me to catch up to Snob's 8 grand? That's my new life goal. Thank you for setting me a very achievable life goal. I just have to I have to have more money than that anime snob by at least the end of the year. This is a challenge to him too. I don't know if he's just been sitting on 8 grand or if he's like making money all the time. But if that anime snob's got 8 grand, I think I can have 8 grand by the end of the year. I think I can pull that off. So yeah, let's try to see between me and that anime snob, as long as he manages not to call me Digipedo or whatever, which will result in me actually murdering him. Not immediately, but it'll take some doing. But as long as he can avoid that, we can have a real nice friendly competition to see who ends the year with more money as I race to catch up with his 8 grand from a merely starting place of $40. Surely it would be an impressive feat, right? To overcome someone from such a low starting position. I think this is a fun game we can play, right? Because he can run this campaign, like surely his fans are not going to want me to win, so he could make a lot of money. He's already making more money than me, so it stands to reason he could run a stronger campaign, and I would have to get really fucking serious. So I think it's on. I think Snob and I are gonna have to race to see who can end the year with more money. He's got 8 grand, I've got $40. The chips are down. This is the kind of thing I can get people involved with. You know, if I tell my friends I'm broke, they're like, me too. If I tell my friends I need to make more money than that anime snob by the end of the year, people are gonna be concerned about helping me accomplish this. So I think this is a worthwhile endeavor. I must thank you for bringing this to my table. This hearty roast pig that will fill my empty belly. All right. Speaking of empty belly, I'm getting too hungry with my metaphors now. I know I have to end this soon. I'll wait just in case somebody has a burning topic they want me to rant about in the next 2 minutes. If there's not a super chat, I'm just wrapping it up. Well, if there is a super chat, I'm reading it and then answering it, and then I'm wrapping it up. But either way, it's getting wrapped up, god damn it. The sun's going down. I feel weird being in this strange neighborhood. It's too safe. It's like off-puttingly safe, you know? Makes me feel like the dangerous element. Which is, I prefer being in places where I feel like the most dangerous person around than in places where I feel like the least dangerous person around. So I do like going to these kind of nice neighborhoods, but I know I can't overstay my welcome, because eventually somebody's going to ask if I live here, and I'm going to say no. And then they're going to ask me to leave before, you know, they have a problem. Because that's how people be. What's the best fast food option out right now? You'd have to pay me to rant about that. I'll go on for fucking 25 minutes if you ask me that. Like, I have a one-word answer, but nobody knows it, so I'd have to explain it, and that would take time. I live in a place with big HOA vibes in that there is an HOA. That's fucking funny. I've never had to deal with that. I've never been a homeowner, so, you know, I don't know if my dad had to deal with HOA shit, but he probably has. Culver's is okay. It's not, they're fine. If you're like just trying to eat the biggest possible burger right now, Culver's is like better Hardee's. You know, like, because we don't have Culver's here in the East Coast. We've got Hardee's. It's not as good, but Culver's is not a favorite of mine. All right, we got a couple more super chats. These are going to be our last guys. Summer number 15,532 with 222 pound. Once again, thank you very much. Please rant about sleep. Fuck sleep. Fuck eat. Enemy. Fake homies. Can't believe now. OG. There's a song called Fuck Sleep by A$AP Rocky that I really like. It represents my thoughts on sleep accurately. I hate that sleep is so necessary, but I'm glad I've come to a point in my life where I really feel as though I understand the necessity of sleep and like how to get there, how to like get the most out of it. Because I used to be like for a lot of the early part of my career, for instance, you know, when I didn't all throughout school, like I've always had a fucked up circadian rhythm. It's always been hard for me to keep the same sleep schedule, and it's made my life really difficult a lot of the time. I don't deal with this problem anymore because I know I have to wake up like at a certain time in the morning, and so I have to go to bed by a certain time if I want to get decent sleep by then. And the only way I'm going to get to sleep by that time is if I just exhaust myself. So that's why I do like the manic walking around during all the live streams and stuff, is like at the end of the day I'm fucking tired. You know, my legs hurt, I'm like out of energy, I need the sleep, and because of that I get better sleep. What used to happen is I would, you know, I wouldn't work out, I just kind of sat around all day, you know, I would still be restless when I went to bed, so I would have a difficulty sleeping because like I'm thinking too much, like I still have ideas, you know, I'm thinking about the future and shit. When I'm exhausted I can't think. Like I get to a point where my thoughts are too jumbled, or like I'll think something so stupid that I'm just like, all right, I need to go to bed. Like that was dumb. That isn't, you're not even using logic anymore, you know? So it's like, to me there's a power in like knocking yourself out, like being sure that you need the sleep. But there's also, it's terrifying because it's a very powerless feeling of, you know, being like, oh fuck, I can't do, like I can't be at full operating capacity right now. I need sleep or else I'm gonna fuck up and hurt myself or, you know, be in danger. So, you know, I would say it's a contentious relationship. I don't like that I have to sleep, but I'm willing to do it, and I've come to an understanding of like what is necessary to make it happen, you know. Gary O's with $2. What's the best fast food option right now? Brahms. Brahms is the best fast food option. Brahms is an Oklahoma-based brand that basically only exists within a 250-mile radius of Oklahoma City. In Oklahoma City, there is a Brahms on every single interstate exit. It is everywhere. It's all over Oklahoma. There's some of them in like southwestern Missouri. Kansas has a couple, like Wichita. Northern Texas has them, and maybe there's some in a couple other states, but that's most of it. Brahms makes all of their own shit, and they have grocery stores inside of, it's like a little convenient store sized grocery store inside of each location. So you can buy everything you want at Brahms, and it's all from their farms. It's all just made by them. So there's no, like, you know, there's not all the overhead of transport fees, so it's all fairly cheap. I would say the groceries are, they're on the pricier side, but not for the quality. You know, like you're getting way better quality than the price. But the actual fast food is very cheap and ridiculously high quality for the price. Their cheese and milk in particular, like the burger meat is phenomenal, but it's all the dairy products they have are like next level, way above any other fast food place. So you go there, you get, you know, cheeseburger. I like getting it with jalapenos because they got fresh ass fucking jalapenos. The only thing I've had from them that I didn't like was their chicken sandwich. I would not recommend the chicken sandwich from Brahms. Anything that's dairy or beef based, absolutely go for it. Their ice cream is fucking phenomenal. And everything I've gotten from the grocery store the couple times I've bought stuff has been really great too. So yeah, Brahms is the guy. Oh yeah, big store with Beaver. Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's is a convenient, well, it's really a gas station, you know. And problem with Buc-ee's is they have good stuff, but it's too expensive. Like, or like it, you know, you buy it and you eat it and you're like, well, it was really good, but like I'm not getting that $9 back. And like for $9 you could have gone and got something like exceptional. So like Buc-ee's is like, yeah, it's better than any other gas station, and it's very self-celebratory. It's a fun place to be. It feels, if you're somebody who has fun shopping, you can have fun shopping at Buc-ee's. Although they're usually during the daytime fucking slammed. And there's some stuff that's really cheap there. Like you can get cheap snacks, cheap drinks. But a lot of the good stuff, like the brisket or, you know, the beef jerky is like, it's expensive. It's good, but... Alright. That's it. That's it. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming out. I'm hungry. It's been almost 100 minutes. It's almost 9 o'clock. I gotta get back home, see if Bird wants to eat. If not, I'm going to bed.